Hey, it's Alan Berg. Before we get into this episode, I'm starting something called Ask Me Anything. That's right. You submit your questions and they could become an entire episode or something that I answer at the end of an episode. To submit your questions, look for the red button at podcast.alanberg.com. That's right, podcast.alanberg.com. Click on the red button, submit your question, and maybe you'll hear it here on the podcast. Thanks. Use AI as your thought partner. You're still the thought leader. Listen to this episode, see where I'm going. Welcome to another episode of the Wedding Business Solutions Podcast. I'm your host, Alan Berg. I'm a speaker, sales trainer, consultant, author, and I help businesses like yours sell more, profit more, and have a little more fun doing it. Enjoy this episode. Hey, it's Alan Berg. Welcome back to another episode of the Wedding Business Solutions Podcast. I was reading a book, The AI-Driven Leader, and it was an interesting thing in there about get prompting and how you can get the most out of AI. And I've been using AI a lot with my own content, with your own content, and showing you how, I've spoken about this on another podcast, how using your own content will get you different results than somebody else who just goes to the same platform and asks it the same question. And one thing that I had not thought of until I read this book was using AI as your thought partner. And this is a feature that I didn't even know. I didn't know of ChatGPT. I'm sure others might have it as well. And what this person suggested, the author suggested, is you go to ChatGPT. So I did this recently, went to ChatGPT, and I said, I want you to act as my thought partner. Here's what I'm trying to accomplish. In this case, I thought about developing an Ask Alan Anything bot, wanted to see if it was something that I could come up with. And I didn't know how to do it. And what he said to do is tell it what you want to do, who it's for, formatting, all that kind of stuff, and then say, interview me one question at a time so we can get to this result. And sure enough, it asked me a question. And I answered the question, and then it suggested something else, and I either answered that or I said, no, let's go in this way, and then it asked me something else. And just like a person in this case that you're trying to brainstorm with, it was asking me questions to help get us to where we're trying to go. And when I needed to do a particular thing, and if I didn't know how to do that, I'd say, well, how do I do that? What platforms can I use for that? What's the pricing of those platforms? Just different questions. But it was just an interesting exercise for me to have it asking me questions and thoughtful questions and leading us down the path towards where we're trying to get to. And again, I didn't always like the questions it asked. I might have said, no, that doesn't apply, or let's change that, or whatever. But that's what we would do with a person as well. So it was just an interesting way to use AI. Now, I didn't talk to it, although you can do that in ChatGPT and probably some others, where you can talk to it and it will talk to you and ask the questions back. I was typing and it was typing, and that's okay. But you can talk to it in many, many languages these days, as far as I think it's like 40 something languages with ChatGPT. So think about this, that the next time you're trying to brainstorm something and you're not sure how to go about it, could you go to a platform like ChatGPT? And again, I'm sure you can do this in some of the others. This is a reasoning thing. That's why I use ChatGPT for this. I use Perplexity for my more analytical type things. I actually use it more than Google these days for research. But for analytical type things like this, reasoning type things, I use ChatGPT. And could you say, this is who I am. This is what I'm trying to do. I want you to act as my thought partner and interview me one question at a time, and then see what it comes up with. Now, if you have the paid version, which I believe you should, and the reason I say that is if you're going to use somebody's tool, I think you should pay for it. Remember, I forget who the original source of this was. If you're not paying for that product or platform, you are the product. That's why the ads always show up for us on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and TikTok and whatever, because they're selling us, who are using it for free, our eyeballs to that audience, right? To that advertiser. That's what they're doing. They're selling us to them. So I pay because I want the better features. I pay because I don't want it to cut me off and say you've used up all you can use for free today. And I believe I'm using their tool, getting value. Why not give them value back? And only $20 a month. It's just incredible value that you can get out of it. Even if you used it once, it would be worth it to do that, but you can use it a lot more. So if using the paid version, and it can learn you. So you want to go in and you want to teach it who you are. So you go into your settings and you can tell it about you, tell it about what you do, tell about your audience. I don't have to do that anymore because it knows me. I uploaded something the other day and it said, "Wow, this is so quintessentially you, Alan," or this is right to the core of what you speak about, Alan. And I was like, "Wow, that's how you're talking to me? Like you know me?" Well, it does. It knows me. It has my content. It just tons and tons of my content between my books and my podcasts and things like that. It has all this content about me, so it knows me. That's what got me thinking about creating this bot. So stay tuned for that, about an Ask Alan Anything opportunity with that. And the process of using this as a thought partner and taking this on and saying, how would I do this? What would I do? What do I need to do? What's my responsibility for this? It comes back with this, asks you one question at a time, and becomes your thought partner. But you are the thought leader. And that's the overarching point of this particular episode is it can be your thought partner and it can be a tool and it can help you get somewhere, but you are the thought leader. So don't let it do the work for you. You want to use it as a tool and help you get to do the things you want to do. So when I'm doing research and I go to Perplexity and I ask it to go out and find things for me, it's doing the work that I could do, but it's doing it better and faster. But I still am the one driving what needs to get done. When I go to ChatGPT and say, like I did yesterday, I'm speaking for a group of speakers and they wanted my introduction. Well, I wanted to kind of tone down the wedding and event industry stuff and bring up the point of my speaking in 14 countries and me being an author and so forth, and what my areas of expertise are. Even though I speak to wedding and event professionals mostly, my area of expertise is business. It's sales, it's conversion, it's getting ghosted less, websites and so forth. That's my area of expertise. I wanted that brought up. So I tell it, this is what I'm trying to do, and it tweaks it. If I'm creating a new presentation, I say, okay, here's a presentation. This is what it's about. This is what who it's for and all. And then help me come up with wording for this. And then we go back and forth 5 times. I have a new workshop that I did from ghosted to booked. And I'm thinking, is that the best title? So I uploaded a transcript of a 3-hour workshop I did and said, okay, let's come up with a better description for this based upon the actual content. Is there something better we can come up with? And it came up with, sell the way today's couples want to buy. I was like, okay, well, that's what it's about. So let's make it that. So this is where you can use it as your thought partner, but you're still the thought leader. This is what I'm trying to do. It's still my content. This is my audience. This is how I want them to benefit from this. So again, you are the thought leader. It can be your thought partner if you use that tool properly. If you let it do more of the driving, you and somebody else could come up with things that would be very, very similar, if not exactly the same. I was on a call the other day and somebody was talking about how couples are using this if they were complaining to their vendor about something at the wedding, and this particular person it was a lawyer, saw 3 or 4 different letters that vendors had gotten from different couples, and they all looked almost exactly the same because they're going into the blank screen, asking it pretty much the same question, and now they're getting this answer, which it turns out really was a bad answer, but they were taking it as is because they're like, oh, it must be good because it's that. You're the thought leader. Don't take it as is. Read it, edit it, iterate it, ask it, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. It never gets tired. It never complains. You are the thought leader. Hope that gives you something to think about the next time you open up AI. Hi, it's Alan Berg. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Wedding Business Solutions podcast. If you have a suggestion for a future topic or guest, please go to podcast.alanberg.com and you can make your suggestion there. You can also do it at Ask Me Anything, which is a button on that page, or just email me at alan@weddingbusinesssolutions.com. And if you'd like to find out how I can help you with sales training, a website review, consulting, or speaking for your group or organization, possibly at no cost to the organization, contact me directly, alan@weddingbusinesssolutions.com. Thanks again for tuning in.